quite all right. You're not disturbing me. I would much rather talk than work. Yet, here I am, day after day, haunted by one thought. I must write. I must write. I must write. This is my study, the room in which I write my stories. I built it myself, actually. Cut the timber and fitted the logs. Made an awful mess of it. I do my writing here at the side of the room because the roof leaks directly over my desk. I'd moved the desk, but it covers a hole I left in the floor. And the floor was built into the side of a hill, so in heavy rains, the whole room tends to slide downhill. Many's the day I've stood in this cabin and passed my neighbors standing in the street. Still, I'm happy here. Although I don't get enough visitors to suit me, people tend to shy away from writers. They assume we're always busy thinking. Not true. Even my dear, sweet mother doesn't like to disturb me. She always tiptoes up here and leaves my food just outside the door. I haven't had a hot meal in years. But I've done a good deal of writing here. Perhaps too much. I look out this window and I see life passing me by at a furious rate. And I wonder, what force is it that drives me to write so incessantly, day after day, page after page, story after story? And the answer is quite simple. I have no choice. I am a writer. Some days, I think I may be mad. Oh, but I'm quite harmless. Although, I do admit to fits of wandering. I'm engaged in conversations where I hear nothing and see only the silent movement of lips and answer a meaningless, yes, of course, all the while thinking he'll make a great character for a story, this one. I enjoy writing, and I enjoy reading the proofs, but as soon as it appears in print, I can't stand it. I see that it's all wrong, a mistake, that it ought never to have been written, and I am miserable. And then the public reads it. Yes, charming, clever, charming, but a far cry from Tolstoy, or a fine thing, but Turgenev's Fathers and Sons is better. And so it will be to my dying day, charming and clever, nothing more. My friends will walk by my grave and say, "Here lies so-and-so, a good writer, but Turgenev was better." It's funny, but before you came in here, I was thinking I ought to give it up one day. What would I do instead? Well, I've never freely admitted this before, but to those of you here in the theater tonight, I would like to tell you what I would most like to do with my life. Ever since I was a small child, I've always, excuse me a moment. Just making a note here. An idea just occurred to me. A subject for a short story. It was my mentioning the theater that sparked it. What were we talking about a moment ago? No matter. My thoughts are consumed by this new story. See if this appeals to you. It starts in a theater. it starts on the opening night of a new season. It starts with the arrival of all of those dear and devoted patrons of the arts, waving and greeting each other in the grand salon, commenting on how this one looks or how that one is dressed, scarcely knowing what play they're about to see that evening. With the exception of one man, Ivan Ilyich Cherdyakov. If Ivan Ilyich Cherdyakov, a civil servant, a clerk in the Ministry of Public Parks, had any passion in life at all, it was the theater. He certainly had hopes and ambitions for higher office, and had dedicated his life to hard work, zeal, and patience. Still, he would not deny himself his one great pleasure, so he purchased 2 tickets in the very best section of the theater for the opening night performance of Rostov's The Bearded Countess. As fortune would have it, into the theater that night came his respected superior, General Mikhail Brasilov, the Minister of Public Parks himself.
That's my ball. Good evening, General.
Oh, yes. Good evening.
Permit me, sir. I am Cherdyakov, Ivan Ilyich. This is a great honor for me, sir.
Yes.
Like yourself, dear General, I too serve the Ministry of Public Parks. That is to say, I serve you, who is indeed himself the Minister of Public Parks. I am the Assistant Chief Clerk in the Department of Trees and Bushes.
Ah, yes. Keep up the good work. Lovely trees and bushes this year. Very nice.
Fancy meeting you here. My wife would like very much to say hello, General. This is she, Madam Cherdyakov.
How do you do?
My pleasure.
My pleasure, General.
How do you do?
Madam Brasilov, my wife, Madam Cherdyakov.
How do you do, Madam Brasilov?
How do you do?
I just had the pleasure of meeting your husband.
And I am my wife's husband. How do you do, Madam Brasilov?
Shh. Sorry. Terribly sorry.
I hope you enjoy the play, sir.
I will if I can watch it.
Feeling quite pleased with himself for having made the most of this golden opportunity, Ivan Ilyich Cherdyakov sat back to enjoy The Bearded Countess. He was no longer a stranger to the Minister of Public Parks. They'd become, if one wanted to be generous about the matter, familiar with each other. And then, quite suddenly, without any warning, like a bolt from a gray, thundering sky, Ivan Ilyich Cherdyakov reared his head back and...
Oh, my goodness, I'm so sorry, Your Excellency.
Never mind. It's all right.
All right? It certainly is not all right. It was unpardonable of me.
You make too much of the matter. Let it rest.
Let it rest? How can I let it rest? Permit me to wipe your neck, General. It's the least I could do.
Leave it be! It's all right, I say.
But, I splattered you, sir. Your complete head is splattered. I assure you it was an accident, but it's disgusting.
Shh! Sorry. My apologies.
The thing is, Your Excellency, it came complete without warning. It was out of my nose before I could stifle it.
Shh!
Shh. Yes, certainly. I'm sorry. It's not a cold, that's what you're worrying about, Your Excellency. Probably just a particle of dust in the nostril.
But try as he might, Cherdyakov could not put the incident out of his mind. The sneeze, no more than an innocent anatomical accident, grew out of all proportion in his mind until it resembled the angry roar of a cannon aimed squarely at the enemy camp. He played the incident back in his mind, slowing it down so that he could view again, in horror, the infamous deed.
Charming. Charming.
Yes, charming.
Charming. Utterly charming. Wouldn't you say it was charming, my dear?
I found it utterly charming.
I was completely charmed by it.
Excuse me, Excellency.
Who's tapping? Somebody's tapping. Who's that tapping?
I'm the tapper, sir. Cherdyakov.
Look out, dear. It's the sneezer.
No, it's quite all right. I'm all sneezed out. I was just concerned about you going out into the night air with the damp head.
Oh, that. It was a trifle. A mere faux pas. Forget it, young man. Amusing play, don't you think? Did you find it amusing?
Amusing? Oh my goodness, yes. So true. Haven't laughed as much in years.
Which part interested you the most?
The sneeze. When I sneezed on you. It was unforgivable, sir.
Forget it, young man. Come, my dear. It looks like rain. I wouldn't want to get my head wet again.
You mustn't let people sneeze on you, dear. You are not to be sneezed at.
I'm ruined. They'll have me fired from trees and bushes. Send me down to branches and twigs.
Come, Ivan.
What?
You mustn't let it concern you. It was a harmless little sneeze. He's probably forgotten about it already.
Do you really think so?
No, Ivan, I'm scared.
And so they walked home in despair. Wait.
Perhaps I should send him a nice gift. Maybe some Turkish towels.
Cherdyakov's once promising career had literally been blown away.
Why did this happen to me? Why did I go to the theater at all? Why didn't I sit in the balcony with people of our own class? They love sneezing on each other.
Come to bed, Ivan.
Perhaps if I called upon the general again and explained matters, but in such a charming, respectable, and self-effacing manner, he would have no choice but to forgive me.
Maybe it's best not to remind him, Ivan.
No. If I ever hope to become a gentleman, I must start behaving like one.
And so the morning came. It just so happened that today was the day the general took petitions. And since there were 50 or 60 petitions ahead of Cherdyakov, he waited from morning until late afternoon.
Next! Next!
Oh, I'm not next, Your Excellency. I'm last.
Very well then. Last.
That's me, sir.
Well, what is your petition?
I have no petition. I'm no petitioner, sir.
Then you waste my time.
Do you not recognize me, Your Excellency? We met last night under rather explosive circumstances. I am the sneezer.
The what?
The sneezer. The sneezing splatterer. the one who sneezed.
Indeed. And what is it you want now? A gazoon-tight?
No, Your Excellency, your forgiveness. I just wanted to point out that there was no political or antisocial motivation behind that sneeze. It was a non-partisan, non-violent act of God. I cursed the day the protuberance formed itself on my face.
Absolve the innocent body behind the crime, but exile your nose, your kinship, but forgive me.
Forgive me.
My dear young man, I am not angry with your nose. I am much too busy to have time for your nasal problems. I suggest you go home and take a hot bath. Or a cold one. Take something, but don't come back here bothering me with that silly business again. Gibber, gibber, gibber. That's all I've heard all day. Gibber, 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 gibber.
God bless you, sir. Let you and your wife and your household, may your days be sweet, and may your nights be sweeter.
The relief that came over Cherdyakov was enormous.
May the birds sing at your window in the morning, and may your coffee be strong and hot.
The weight of the burden that was lifted was inestimable.
I worship the chair that you sit on, and the uniform that sits on the chair that I worship.
He walked home, singing and whistling like a lark. Life was surely a marvel, a joy, a heavenly paradise.
Oh God, I'm happy!
And yet,
when
he arrived home, Cherdyakov began to think.
Have I been the butt of a cruel and thoughtless joke?
Had the minister toyed with him?
If he had no intention of punishing me, then why did he torment me so unmercifully?
If the sneeze meant so little to the minister, then why did he deliberately cause Cherdyakov to writhe in his bed?
To twist in agony the entire night.
Cherdyakov was furious.
I am furious!
He foamed and fumed and paced the night through, and in the morning he called out to his wife, Sonia!
Sonia! I have been humiliated!
You, Ivan? Who would humiliate you? You're such a kind and generous person.
Who? I'll tell you who. The general. The minister of public parks. General Brasselhoff.
What did he do?
The swine. He humiliated me in such cruel fashion it was almost indiscernible. The man's cunning is equal only to his cruelty. I was practically forced to grovel on my knees in his office. I was reduced to a gibbering idiot.
You were that reduced?
I must return back to him. The lower classes must speak up. It must be made known that men of all nations and creeds, regardless of race or religion, can be free to sneeze on their superiors. It is he who will be humiliated by I.
The next day, Cherdyakov came to humiliate he.
Last! Well?
Well, do you not recognize me, Your Excellency? It is I once again. Look me in the face.
It is you once again. Who?
Cherdyakov, coming back from taking neither a hot bath nor a cold one.
Who let this filthy man in? What is it?
What is it? What is it, you ask? You sit there behind your desk and ask, what is it? You sit there as in your position as General and Minister of Public Parks and ask me, a lowly civil servant, what is it? You sit there with full knowledge that there is no equality in this world, that there are those of us who serve and those that are served, those of us who obey and those that are obeyed, those of us who bow and those that are bowed to, that in this world there are those of us who are humiliated and those that are the cause of that humiliation, and still you ask me, what is it?
What is it? Don't stand there gibbering like an idiot. What is it you want?
I'll tell you what I want! I want to apologize again for sneezing on you. I assure you, it was an accident. An accident, I assure you.
Out. Out, you idiot. Fool, imbecile, get out of my sight. I never want to see you again. If you cross my line of vision again, I will have you exiled forever. What is your name?
Cherdyakov.
You germ spreader. You maggot. You insect. No. You are lower than an insect. You are the second cousin to a cockroach, the son-in-law of a bedbug, the nephew of a ringworm. You are nothing. Nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing!
At that moment, something broke loose inside of Cherdyakov. Something so deep and vital, so organic, that it could only be described as the very life force itself. The damage that was done seemed irreparable. The matter was over. For once, for all, forever. What happened next was really quite simple. Ivan Ilyich Cherdyakov went home, removed his coat, lay down, and died. Wait. There is an alternate ending. Ivan Ilyich Cherdyakov went home, removed his coat, lay down, and inherited $5 million. There's not much truth to the matter, but it is uplifting. I assure you, it is not my intention to paint life any harsher than it is. But some of us are indeed trapped. Witness the predicament of a young governess who cares for and educates the children of a well-to-do family. Trapped indeed.
Julia!
Yes, madam?
Look at me, child. Pick your head up. I like to see your eyes when I speak to you.
Yes, madam.
And how are the children coming with their French lessons?
They're very bright children, madam.
Eyes up. They're bright, you say? Well, why not? And mathematics? They're doing well in mathematics, I assume.
Yes, madam, especially Vanya.
Certainly. I knew it. I excelled in mathematics. He gets that from his mother, wouldn't you say?
Yes, madam.
Head up. That's it. Don't be afraid to look people in the eyes, my dear. If you think of yourself as inferior, that's exactly how others will treat you.
Yes, ma'am.
A quiet girl, aren't you? Now then, let's settle our accounts. I imagine you must need money, although you never asked me for it yourself. Let's see here. We agreed upon $30 a month, did we not?
40, ma'am.
No, 30. I made a note of it. I always pay my governesses 30. Who told you 40?
You did, ma'am. I spoke to no one else concerning money.
Impossible. Maybe you thought you heard 40 when I said 30. If you kept your head up, that would never happen. Look at me again, and I'll say it clearly. $30 a month.
If you say so, ma'am.
Settled. 30 a month it is. Now then, you've been here 2 months exactly.
2 months and 5 days.
No. Exactly 2 months. I made a note of it. Perhaps you should keep the books the way I do so that there wouldn't be these discrepancies. So we have 2 months at $30 a month comes to $60, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Subtract 9 Sundays. We did agree to subtract Sundays, did we not?
No, ma'am.
Eyes. Eyes! Certainly we did. I've always subtracted Sundays. I didn't bother making a note of it because I always do it. Don't you recall when I said we'll subtract Sundays?
No, ma'am.
Think.
No, ma'am.
You weren't thinking. Your eyes were wandering. Look straight at my face and look hard. Do you remember now?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't hear you, Julia.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. I was so sure you'd remember. Plus 3 holidays, correct?
2, ma'am. Christmas and New Year's.
And your birthday, that's 3.
I worked on my birthday, ma'am.
You did? There was no need to. My governesses never work their birthdays.
But I did work, ma'am.
But that's not the question, Julia. We're discussing financial matters. I will, however, only deduct 2 holidays if you insist. Do you insist?
I did work, ma'am.
So you do insist?
No, ma'am.
Very well. That's 3 holidays, therefore we deduct $12. Now then, 4 days, little Kalia was sick and there were no lessons.
But I gave lessons to Vanya.
True. But I engage you to teach 2 children, not 1. Shall I pay you in full for doing only half the work?
No, ma'am.
So we'll deduct it. Yes, 3 days. Oh, you had a toothache, and my husband gave you permission not to work after lunch.
After 4, I worked until 4.
I have here, did not work after lunch. We have lunch at 1 and are finished at 2, not at 4, correct?
Yes, ma'am, but I
That's another $7. 7 and 12 is 19. Subtract, that leaves 41, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. January the 4th, you broke a teacup and saucer. Is that true?
Just a saucer, ma'am.
Well, what good is a teacup without a saucer? That's another $2. That saucer was an heirloom. It cost much more, but let it go. I'm used to taking losses.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now then, January 9th, Kolya climbed a tree and tore his jacket.
I forbid him to do so, ma'am.
He didn't listen, did he? $10. January 14th, Vanya's shoes were stolen?
By the maid, ma'am. You discharged her yourself.
But you get paid good money to watch everything. I explained that in our first meeting. Perhaps you weren't listening. Were you listening that day, Julia? Or was your head in the clouds?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, your head was in the clouds?
No, ma'am. I was listening.
Good. That's another $5. Yes. The 16th of January, I gave you $10.
You didn't.
But I made a note of it. Why would I make a note of it if I didn't give it to you?
I don't know, ma'am.
That's not a satisfactory answer, Julia. Why would I make a note of giving you $10 if I did not, in fact, give it to you, huh? No answer? Well, then I must have given it to you, mustn't I?
Yes, ma'am. If you say so, ma'am.
Certainly I say so. That's the point of this little talk, to clear these matters up. Take 27 from 41, that leaves 14, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What's this, tears? Are you crying? Has something made you unhappy, Julia? Please tell me, it pains me to see you like this. I am so sensitive to tears. What is it?
Only once since I've been here have I ever been given any money. And that was by your husband. On my birthday, he gave me $3.
Really? There's no note of that in my book. I'll put that down now. $3. Thank you for telling me. Sometimes I'm a little lax with my accounts, shortchanging myself. So we take 3 more from 14, that leaves 11. Do you wish to check my figures?
It's not necessary, ma'am.
Then we're all settled. Here's your salary for 2 months, dear. $11. Count it.
There's no need to, ma'am.
Come, let's keep the record straight. Count it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's only 10, ma'am.
Are you sure? Possibly you dropped one. Look on the floor, see if there's a coin there.
I didn't drop any, ma'am. I'm quite sure.
Well, it's not here on my desk. And I know I gave you $11. Look on the floor.
That's all right, ma'am. $10 will be fine.
We'll keep the 10 for now. And if we don't find it on the floor later, we'll discuss it again next month.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. You're very kind, ma'am.
Julia! Come back here. Why did you thank me?
For the money, ma'am.
For the money? But don't you realize what I've done? I've cheated you. Robbed you. I have no such notes in my book. I made up whatever came into my mind. Instead of the $80 that I owe you, I have given you only 10. I've actually stolen from you, and yet you thank me. Why?
In the other places that I've worked, they didn't give me anything at all.
I cheated you even worse than I did. I was playing a little joke on you. A cruel lesson just to teach you. You're much too trusting, and in this world, that's very dangerous. I'm gonna give you the entire $80. It's already for you. The rest is in this envelope. Here, take it.
As you wish, ma'am.
Julia! Is it possible to be so spineless? Why don't you protest? Why don't you speak up? Why don't you cry out against this cruel and unjust treatment? Is it really possible to be so guileless, so innocent, such a... Pardon me for being so blunt. Such a simpleton?
Yes, ma'am, it's possible.
Ooh. Wait! For those of you who are offended by life's cruelty, there is an alternate ending. You understand. Julia was so enraged by such cruel and unjust treatment that she quit her job on the spot and went back to live with her poor parents, where she inherited $5 million. It is my intention to one day write a book of 37 short stories, all with that same ending. I do love it so. You know, that it's been said that man is the only creature capable of laughter, and that it's that faculty that separates us from the lower forms of life. Yet, one must question this theory when you examine some of the objects of our laughter. For example, pain. Pain, needless to say, is no laughing matter. Unless, of course, it's somebody else doing the suffering. Mind, the throes of a man in excruciating agony is funny. I couldn't say it's not funny. Not in the least. But in the village of Astimco, where they have very little access to entertainment, the sight of a man with a toothache can tickle their ribs for weeks. Certainly, Sergei von Miglasov, the sexton, saw nothing humorous about it. As he walked through the village, his moans and groans won him more chuckles than sympathetic remarks. Wouldn't they find it even more amusing to know that the good doctor that normally performs the extractions of angry teeth was away at the wedding of his daughter, and the task was left to Kuryatin, an eager medical student. If alas, poor sexton, an inexperienced one.
Ow. Ow, 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 ow!
Ah, greetings, Father. What brings you here?
The pain is unbearable. It's beyond unbearable. It's unendurable. Ow.
Where exactly is the pain?
Where isn't it everywhere? Not just the tooth, it's the whole side of my mouth.
How long have you had this agony?
10 years.
10 years?
Well, since yesterday morning, it seems like 10 years. Oh, I must have sinned terribly to deserve this. God must have dropped all other business to punish me this way. Where's the doctor?
The doctor is away on personal business. But don't worry, he left the care of his patients in my young, capable hands.
But, are you a doctor?
In every way except a degree. I'm a doctor to be.
Then I'm a patient to be. Goodbye.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I can assure you, the only thing that prevents me from being called a doctor is the formality of an examination. You see, I'm skilled, I'm just not titled. Please, I beg you for this opportunity. Please sit in the chair, Father.
Heaven help me today. Ow! Even sitting hurts.
Yeah, no doubt the nerves are inflamed. Once removed, the pain will cease to be.
You're going to remove the nerves?
The tooth that's connected to the nerve. It's a simple matter of surgery.
The cigar!
What?
Your cigar is burning my eyes.
I'm sorry. Would you rather I put it out? I only smoke it to steady my nerves.
Smoke it. Smoke the cigar.
Thank you. Now, let's see what we have here.
I pray for you. I pray to the saints and to our dear Lord in heaven, be gentle with me, spare me pain.
My dear Sexton, we are living in an age of advanced science. In skilled hands, there's no longer need for pain. If it's gentleness you want, it's gentleness you'll have. Now, are you ready? Good. Now please open your mouth so I can examine you. Well, come, open your mouth, please. My dear Sexton, inexperienced as I am, I know it's essential that you open your mouth. It's mandatory to all work concerning the mouth to have it open first. It would be highly impractical for me to pull the tooth from the outside. Now please, open up. Not the lips, the entire mouth. I don't want to brush your teeth. I want to examine them.
Will you be gentle?
Didn't I promise you I would?
As a child, I was promised many things I never got.
There is no pain connected to this part. This part is merely an examination to find out what must be done, where, and how. Now please, open up. Good. Ah, yes, there it is. There's the ugly little fella. Ha, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
Stop talking to it. Don't make friends with it. Pull it out.
Don't rush me. I'm evaluating. Your tooth has a hole in it big enough to drive a horse and a carriage through.
What is it?
Oh, it's disgusting. Oh. But if this is going to be my profession, I have to get used to these things. Now then, I'm going to try something.
Be gentle.
As if I were your own mother.
My mother didn't like me. Gentler.
I want to see how exposed the nerve is. All I'm going to do is gently blow on your tooth. That's all. All right? Excuse me. Oh. All right, here goes.
Ow!
I have some information for you. The nerve's exposed.
Wow, is that how far science has advanced, blowing on teeth?
It's still inconclusive. More work must be done in this field. So much depends on the temperature of the doctor's breath. Ah, here we are.
What are you gonna do with those?
The tooth has to be pulled. It'll be out quicker than you can spit.
Oh, merciful God.
Surgery is nothing. It's all a matter of firm hand.
I pray to God. I hope it gives you health and quickness. Mostly quickness.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. This will come out easily. Although some teeth give you trouble, I admit. But that's only when the roots are deep. I hope you prayed for shallow roots. Ooh. All right, here goes. Don't do that. Don't grab my hand. Let go. Let go, I say. You've got my hand again. If I'm gonna pull your tooth, I need my hand. Now, let go. Are you gonna let go of my hand? If you don't let go of my hand, I'm gonna take these forceps and pull your fingers out.
Ow!
All right. Now, let's try once more. Good, good. Don't twitch. Sit still. You're twitching again. Now, the important thing is to get a deep enough hold so we don't break the crown. All right. This time, I got a firm grip on the little monster. Whew. Now, whatever I do, don't grab my hand. I'm already going to have enough trouble with your tooth without you interfering. Steady now. When I say 3, 1, 2, 3. Whoa! I got it. I pulled it out. My first tooth.
You pulled it out, all right. I hope they pull you into the next world that way.
Oh no. Oh, I knew it. The crown broke. You've still got the roots in your mouth. Oh, what a mess this is gonna be. I told you not to twitch.
You butcher. You carpenter your God's vengeance for my sins. Compared to you, the toothache was a joy.
You ignorant peasant. The only thing harder than the roots in your tooth are the brains in your head. Now, get back in the chair. We have unfinished business.
Keep your hands away from me, sorcerer. If you put your fingers in my mouth, it would be the first solid food I ate this week.
Oh, you're not leaving until those roots come out. It's a question of professional pride. Oh, chair.
No.
Get in the chair.
No.
Get in the chair. Get in the chair.
No.
Get in the chair.
I give up.
I failed in my duty.
Come, let's pray for a miracle. Dear Lord in heaven,
Dear God above,
I pray for this good doctor.
I pray for this poor, poor creature.
Keep his hands steady.
Keep his mouth open.
Don't let him falter.
Don't let him bite me.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
Fine weather? Fine weather indeed, wouldn't you say?
I hadn't noticed, really. Yes, I do suppose it is a lovely day.
Not many more of these left. Winter's just beyond that tree there.
The winters seem to be getting longer lately. Have you noticed that? They seem to come sooner and stay longer.
I've noticed it, madam. Only in these last few years have I noticed it.
this widowed lady go out with him for tea.
A fine figure of a lady with quality and tone. A fine figure of a lady, and she always sits alone. Should this fine figure of a gentleman who's older than the sea ask a fine figure of a lady if she'd like to share some tea? I was wondering, madam.
Yes?
I was wondering, do you have the time of day?
I don't carry a timepiece.
No. No, madam, my business wasn't urgent. It can wait. Yes, it can wait. Should this old weather-beaten gentleman take one more chance at life? She reminds me of that sweet lady whom I lovingly called wife.
I had my tender-hearted gentleman. Can I go through again all the pain, joy, and all the sorrow that you get from loving men?
Is it too late for happiness? Too late for fling? Too late to ask for love? There aren't many springs left for people who spend their nights waiting for the day. Someone to share delight long since passed away. Too late for happiness, too soon for fall. Too late for anything, anything at all. Seems to be clouding up a bit.
I'm beginning to feel a chill in the air.
Oh, would you like my scarf for your neck?
Thank you. No, it's getting late. I should be getting home.
Yes. Yes, of course, I was thinking the same thing. The same thing. Well, unless
Yes?
you care to join me to tea. A cup of hot tea. It might just be the right thing, a cup of tea.
Tea. Tea, you say? Why, that's very nice of you. I would love to.
You would?
Yes. But not today. Perhaps tomorrow.
Yes. Yes, of course, perhaps tomorrow. There's always tomorrow.
Good day, sir.
Good day, ma'am. Still time for happiness. Time to begin. Still time to answer yes. But just not today.
Peter Simonek was the greatest seducer of other men's wives that I've ever met. He was successful with all women, for that matter. But there was a special challenge to women married to rich, successful, prominent men. I could never do him justice. Let him tell you in his own words.
If I may say so myself, I am the greatest seducer of other men's wives that I've ever met. Now, I say this not boastfully, but as a matter of record. Staggering figures speak for themselves. For those men interested in playing this highly satisfying and often dangerous game, I urge you to take out pen and paper and take notes. I'm going to explain my methods. In defense, married women may do likewise, but it'll do them little to no good if they happen to be the chosen victim. My methods have never failed. Now then, there are 3 characteristics needed. There are patience, more patience, and still more patience. Those who do not have the strength to wait and persist, I urge you to take up bicycling, rowing perhaps. Seducing is not for you. Now then, in order to seduce a man's wife, you must, I repeat, must keep as far away from her as possible. Pay her practically no attention at all. Ignore her, if you must. We will get to her through the husband. You're about to witness a practical demonstration for, as it happens, I'm madly and deeply in love this week. Oh, my heart pounds with excitement knowing she'll walk through the garden any moment with her husband. Every fiber in my being tells me to throw my arms around her and embrace her with all the passion in my heart. But watch how a master works. I shall be cool almost to the point of freezing. My heart of hearts and spouse approaches.
Ah, Peter Simonek. Fancy meeting you here.
My dear Nikolai, you're looking well. Notice how I'm not looking at her.
Thank you. And you gay devil, you're always looking fine yourself. Excuse me, have you met my wife, Irina? Of course you have. You sat next to her at dinner at the Vezinovs. Irina, I don't know what this charmer told you at dinner, but I must warn you. He's a scoundrel, a notorious bachelor, and an exceptional swordsman. That's the best I can say about you, Peter.
You exaggerate, Nicky. Madam, good to see you again.
Well, we're just taking a stroll if you're not too busy. Why don't you join us?
I'd love to, but as a matter of fact, I'm riveted to the spot. A new romance has entered my life, and my legs are like pillars of granite. Until she's out of my sight, I will be incapable of movement. Too much, do you think? As I said, be patient.
Fantastic! You never cease to amaze me. Pretty, I suppose.
Oh, suppose magnificent. Suppose glorious. And you will suppose correctly.
Any complications?
As usual, a husband. I'm afraid my cause looks hopeless.
Nonsense. I'm placing my money on you, Peter. And you know I never bet unless I'm sure of winning. Well, we're off. Good hunting, my boy. Good hunting.
Madam. Beautifully done, don't you think? I'm sometimes awed at the work of a true professional. Did you notice how our eyes barely met? We exchanged hardly a word in how much she knows of me already. A, I am a popular bachelor. B, a gifted sportsman. Nice contrast to her sedentary husband. C, a man in love. And D, and this is the most important, a dangerous man with the ladies. Quite frankly, at this point, she is disgusted with me. A, because I'm a braggart and a scoundrel. B, because I'm shamelessly frank as to what my intentions are. And C, because she thinks she's not the one I'm interested in. Forgive me if I'm slightly overcome by my own deviousness. By the way, are you getting all this down? It gets tricky from here on in. Now then, next step, hypnosis. Not hypnosis with your eyes, but hypnosis with the poison of your tongue, much like a venomous snake moving in for the kill. And what's more, the best channel is her husband himself. Witness as I accidentally run into him one day at the club.
Peter, you're looking glum. I take it your pursuit isn't going well.
Is it that obvious? I'm doomed, Nikki. I haven't seen her since last I saw you and your dear wife in the park. I sleep little, eat less. I had my shirt collars taken in a ½ inch. Nikki, why do I waste my valuable youth chasing women I can never truly call my own? How I envy you.
Me? What's there about me that you envy?
Why, your marriage, of course. A charming woman, your wife, let me tell you.
Really? What is it about her that fascinates you so?
Oh, her grace, her quiet charm. But mostly it's the way she looks at you. Ah, Nikki, if I had someone that looks at me like that, it must send quivers through your whole body.
Quivers? No, not really.
Really? A tingle, perhaps? Don't tell me you don't tingle when she looks at you.
Of course, by all means, I tingle all the time.
She's an ideal woman, Nikki. Believe that from a lonely bachelor and be glad fate gave you a wife like that.
Perhaps fate will be as kind to you, Peter.
That's what I'm counting on. Good heavens, I'm late for my doctor's appointment.
What's he treating you for?
Melancholia. Please say hello to your extraordinary wife, but I urge you not to repeat our conversation. It might embarrass her fragile sensitivities. Where, oh, where is the woman for me? I know where. The question is, how soon will she be mine? There's still work to be done, but not by me. That task falls to my aide and accomplice. Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Semenik today.
Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Semenik today.
Who?
Peter Semenik, the bachelor. That man we met in the gardens last week. That attractive fellow. You remember.
I remember what a loathsome man he is.
You may not think so when you hear what he had to say about you.
Nothing that braggart had to say would interest me.
He spoke most enthusiastically about you. He was enraptured by your grace, your quiet charm, and he seemed to feel that you were capable of loving a man in some extraordinary way. It was something about the way you looked, so adoringly. Certainly had a lot to say about you. He went on and on. Well, good night, my dear.
Good night. What else? What else did he say about me?
Peter?
Whatever that loathsome man's name is. What else did Peter Semenik say about me?
Well, that's, basically it. What I told you.
But you said he went on and on.
He did.
But you stopped. If he went on and on, don't stop. Either go on and on or let's go to bed.
Well, he said how much he envied me. How much he wished someone would look at him the way you look at me.
How does he know how I look at you?
Well, that day in the gardens, he must have been looking at you while you were looking at me. It sent a tingle through my whole body.
The way I looked at you?
Exactly, my precious.
But you were looking at him. So you couldn't have seen how I was looking at you. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the flowers because he made me nervous the way he kept avoiding and looking at me. You must have tingled for some other reason.
It's getting rather confusing. The point is, he found you fascinating. I thought it'd please you.
Well, it doesn't. I would rather you didn't tell me such stories. Are you planning on seeing him again soon?
Tomorrow, for lunch.
Well, I would rather not be discussed over lunch. Tell him that. And at dinner you can tell me what he said. Good night, Nikki.
Good night, my angel.
Good night, my love. I'm spellbound by my own powers. I succeeded in not only piquing her interest, but causing her heart to flutter at the mention of my name. The same man she called loathsome not 2 minutes ago. All this was accomplished, mind you, while I was home, taking a pine-scented bath. Lunch the next day was not only nourishing, but productive. Oh, by the way, old man, I ran into Nekrasov yesterday, the artist. It appears he's been commissioned by some wealthy prince to paint the head of a typical Russian beauty. And get this, he asked me to look out for a model for him. I told him I knew just the woman, but I didn't dare ask her myself. So what do you think of asking your wife?
Asking my wife what?
To be the model, of course. Oh, that lovely head of hers. It'd be a damn shame if that exquisite face missed the chance to become immortalized for all the world.
For all the world? Really? I see what you mean.
Why don't you discuss it with her?
Good idea. I'll discuss it with her. Well, I said I'd discuss it with you. What do you think?
I think it's nonsense. How did he put it to you? I mean, did he actually say a typical Russian beauty?
Precisely. And that it would be a damn shame if that exquisite face missed the chance to become immortalized for all the world. That's exactly what he said.
He gets carried away by his own voice. Those exact words. You didn't leave anything out?
Yes. That lovely face. I left out that lovely face. He said that a number of times, I think.
Oh, he does go on, doesn't he? How many times did he say it? Once? Twice? What?
Let me think. It's hard to remember.
It's not important. But in the future, I wish you would write these things down.
Have you seen me near her? Have you heard me speak to her? Has any correspondence passed between us? No, my dear pupils. And yet she hangs on my every word uttered by her husband. Awesome, isn't it? We apply this treatment from 2 to 3 weeks. Her resistance is weakening, weakening, weakening.
I think his mind is somewhere else if you ask me. On some woman from the looks of him.
What woman? Has he mentioned any woman in particular?
Oh, no, he's too discreet for that. He'll protect a good name at any cost. Instead, he speaks of you all day. Poor fool. I'm beginning to feel sorry for him.
It's really none of our concern, Nikki. Did you ask him to dinner tomorrow?
He's busy.
The day after, then?
Busy.
Next week? Next month? When? Doesn't the man eat?
He says he's involved in a very important project, and it'll be months before we can see him again. He did say, however, that with patience and persistence, good things would come to him. Oh, by the way, he says he thinks you should be on the stage.
The stage? Me on the stage? Why in heaven's name?
Well, he said, one sec, I wouldn't want to misquote him.
No. Take your time. Try and get it as accurately as possible.
Here we go. He said, with such an attractive appearance, such intelligence, sensitiveness, it's a sin for her to be just a housewife.
Oh dear, he said that?
And that ordinary demands don't exist for such women.
Nikki, I don't think I want to hear any more.
Natures like that should not be bound by time and space.
Nikki, I implore you, please stop.
And that if I weren't so busy, I'd take her from you myself.
He said that?
Yes, right here.
Well, what did you say to him? It's important I know what you said to him then.
Well, I said, take her then. I'm not gonna fight a duel over her.
You mustn't discuss me with him anymore. I beg you not to mention my name to him ever again.
But I don't, my love. He's the one who always brings up the subject. He actually accused me of not understanding you. He shouted at me. She's an exceptional creature, strong, seeking a way out. If I were Turgenev, I would put her in a novel. The passionate angel, I would call it. The man is weird. Definitely weird.
He's delivering my love letters, sealing them with kisses, and calls me weird. I ask you. So, let's see what we've got so far. The poor woman is definitely consumed with a passion to meet me. She is sure I'm the only man who understands her. Her yawning, disinterested husband transmits my remarks, but it is my voice she hears, my words that sing in her heart. The sweet poison is doing its work. I am relentless. There's no room for mercy in the seducing business. Observe just how deftly the final stroke is administered. For the faint-hearted, I urge you, look away.
No, Nikki, I don't want to hear. Not another word from him. Nothing.
But exactly. That's what he told me to tell you. He begged me to tell you nothing. He said that he knew that because of your sweet, sympathetic nature that you would only worry to hear of someone else's distress.
He's in distress?
Worse, he's gloomy, morose, morbid, in the depths of despair.
Oh no, but why? What's the matter with him?
Loneliness. He says that he has no relatives, no true friends, not a soul who understands him.
But doesn't he know that we understand him perfectly? Doesn't he know how much we appreciate him and commune with him daily? Doesn't he know how much we yearn to be with him?
I tried to make that clear. I again urged him to come home with me for dinner, but he says that he can't see people. He's so depressed, he can't even stay in his home. Instead, he paces in the public gardens where we met him every night.
What time?
Between 8 and 9. By the way, we're invited to the Vaskoveks tomorrow. Is 8 o'clock all right for you?
No, I'm visiting Aunt Sophia tomorrow. She's ill. I'll be there at 9. Or a little after.
Please, no applause. I couldn't have done it alone. I share that honor with my good friend and collaborator, her husband. He wooed her so successfully that there's no carriage fast enough for her to be in my arms. She ran all the way. Now, for the conclusion. You will understand if I ask you to busy yourselves with your programs and such. These next few moments are private, and I am, after all, a gentleman. My angel, my sweet dear angel. At last I can speak the words that I've longed to...
No.
What?
Not a word. Not a sound. Please. I couldn't bear it. Not until you've heard what's in my heart. For weeks now, I've been in torment. You've used my husband as a clever and devious device to arouse my passions, which I freely admit have been lying dormant these past 7 years. Whether you are sincere or not, you have awakened in me desires and longings I never dreamt were possible. You appeal to my vanity and I succumb. You besteer my thoughts of untold pleasures and I weaken. You attack my every vulnerability and I surrender. I am here, Peter Seminate, if you want me. But let me add this. I love my husband dearly. He is not a passionate man, nor even remotely romantic. Our life together reaches neither the heights of ecstasy nor the depths of anguish. We have an even marriage, moderate and comfortable. And in accepting this condition in the full measure of his devoted love, I have been happy. I come to you now knowing that once you take me in your arms, my marriage and my life with Nikki will be destroyed for all time. I am too weak and too selfish to make the choice. I rely on your strength of character. The option is yours, my dear Peter. Whichever you choose will make me both miserable and eternally grateful. I beg of you not to use me as an amusement, although, even with that knowledge, I would not refuse you. I am yours to do as you will, Peter Seminich. If you want me, open your arms now and I will come to you. If you love me, turn your back and I will leave and never see or speak to you again. The choice, my dearest, sweetest love of my life, is yours. I await your decision. God bless you, Peter Seminich. I wish life brings you the happiness you have just brought to me.
Peter Simonik, the former seducer of other men's wives, from that day on put his attentions to single, unmarried women only, until the day came when the perfect girl showed herself and the confirmed bachelor finally married. He is today a completely happy man, except on those occasions when some dashing young officer tells him how pretty he finds his lovely young wife. I have no thoughts, no ideas. Most unusual for me. Usually they overflow my brain and cascade like a fountain. But tonight, nothing. It'll pass. This happens to every man in my profession at one point or another. Writer's block, we call it. It's only temporary. Wait. Yes, an idea. Okay. Yeah. No, bad idea. False alarm. Sorry I disturbed you. Not only was it a bad idea, I've already written it. It turned out awful. It's okay. This is only temporary, though it is getting to be a very long temporary. Nothing's coming. My nerves are tightening. Oh, God, help me. No. Oh, no. Mustn't rely on a collaboration with the Almighty. What selfishness. To ask God to take time out to help me come up with a story. However, if something does occur to you in the night, I'd like it if you'd make it known to me. It doesn't even have to be a full idea, just the germ of a story. It doesn't even have to be original. I'm very good at twisting things around. Look at me. Asking God to resort to plagiarism to help with my petty needs. Oh, wait.
You, sir. Can I have a word with you, sir?
Who's there? I can't see you in the dark.
Evening, sir. I was wondering, sir, if you might be in a mood for a little, entertainment this evening.
Entertainment? I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure you do, sir. Entertainment. Amusement, so to speak. A little diversion, if you know what I mean.
I think I do know what you mean, and I'm not interested. Go on, off with you. You should know better than to make such proposals to a gentleman.
You've never witnessed anything like this before. That I promise you, this is once-in-a-lifetime offer. Not even a little bit curious?
Curiosity is the nature of my profession, but I try to keep it morally elevated. Excuse me.
Perhaps you're right, sir. On second thought, this might be too much for a gentleman of your sensitivities.
Wait.
Got you with that last one, didn't I?
I'm just asking, mind you, but what exactly is this entertainment you speak of?
Well, sir, how'd you like to see a drowned man?
I beg your pardon.
A drowned man. A man with his lungs filled with salt water and stone dead from drowning. How much would you pay to see that?
Pay? Pay to see a drowned man? Are you insane? I wouldn't look at a drowned man if they paid me. What's the use in looking at a man who's already drowned? You're mad. Get out of here.
$3. That's all it'll cost you. $3 to see him first, before he's in the water, then in the agonizing act of drowning, and then the grand finale. The man already drowned, rest his soul.
What are you saying? That the man hasn't drowned yet? That he's still alive and well?
Not only alive and well, but dry as a bone. And standing before you, I am the drowned man, sir.
You. You're going to drown yourself for $3. And you expect to charge me for your own suicide? I must get away from this lunatic.
No. You've got it all wrong, sir. I don't actually drown. I impersonate a drowned man. I jump into the icy cold water, splash around a bit, flail my arms, yell for help a few times, help! Help! Go under. Boom! 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 And then come up floating head down, all puffy-like. It sends a chill up your spine. $3 for individual performances, special rates for groups. Show starts in 2 minutes.
I can't believe I'm actually discussing the price of admission to a drowning.
You missed the whole point, sir. This is not some sort of cheap thrill. It's a rich tableau filled with social implications. A drama, not tragic, but ironic in view of its comic features.
Comic? What's comic about it?
I blow up my cheeks and bulge my eyes out. Oh! Yell for help in high, squeaky voice. Sounds like pig squealing. I'm the only one on the waterfront who can do it, sir.
And you actually expect me to pay to hear an underwater pig squealer?
I've just had a very successful season, sir. Sold out in August. What do you say, sir? Would you like me to book you now for a dinner show?
What do you mean, dinner show?
I jump in, flail around, and throw you a nice fish. I think the halibuts are running now, sir.
Why do I stand here listening to this?
I wish you'd make up your mind soon, sir. In 5 minutes, that restaurant throws its garbage in the water, then it's all messy. I have my pride.
To hell with your pride. It doesn't stop you from making a living imitating a deceased swimmer.
You sure know how to make strike at a man's vulnerable point. That was cruel, sir.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be cruel.
You completely overlooked the finger points to my profession. Look here. Did you ever see a coal miner, at the end of the day, filth and grime all over his body, shoot up his nostrils and in his ears, black grit in his teeth? Disgusting! Or a barber who goes home at night with cuttings of other people's hair sticking to his hand. It gets in his bread, in his soup. It's nauseating. Do you know where a surgeon puts his finger?
Oh, please.
Or farmer his feet? Every man who works eventually touches something filthy. On the other hand, I deal with water. Water is wet, it's clean, it's purifying. I don't have to take a bath when I come home at night. I've done it. Can you say the same, sir?
Do you actually expect me to discuss my toilet habits with you? My God, you're infuriating. There has to be a carriage around here somewhere. Cabby! Cabby!
You'll regret it. You'll be back one night bored to death, dying to see a good drowning, and I'll be gone. This is my last week here. I close on Sunday. Next week, I'm in Yalta.
Oh, look. There's a police officer. Now, if you don't leave me alone, I'll have you arrested for soliciting.
I'm not soliciting. I'm in the maritime entertainment business.
Drowning is not maritime entertainment. You're a waterfront lunatic. Officer! Officer!
I'm going. But I'll tell you one thing. The drowning business is not what it used to be.
Oh, can I help you, sir?
Yes. There's a man behind the docks there. He's been pestering me all evening. I shouldn't be surprised if he were deranged.
Yes, sir. There are definitely a lot of bad carriers around these docks at night, sir. A gentleman like yourself shouldn't be out here this late. But, say, what was he pestering you about?
Well, I'm warning you. You're going to find this strange, but the man wanted to charge me $3 to watch him drown. Can you imagine?
Strange. Why, sir, that's right, outright thievery. Why, I wouldn't pay more than 60 cents to see a fine drowning. You can get as fine a drowning as you'd like to see out here and not pay a penny more. $3. What nerve.
Officer, you seem to miss the point.
No, and right over there, just on the next pier there are two brothers who do a double drowning for $1 each. You have to know how to bargain with these men, sir. Get your money's worth.
It's not a question of price.
And right over there, just the other day, 14 men acted out an entire shipwreck for $3. And on a good day, for $10, you can see an entire navy going down. Yes, sir. 60 cents is all I'd pay. Have yourself a nice evening.
It's come! It's finally come! The day the world has gone mad has arrived at last.
I see the officer is gone. What did you tell him?
Tell him? I told him the truth. That you're mentally unbalanced. Unfortunately, he was a little more mentally unbalanced than even you.
Still, I appreciate your not causing me any trouble, and in gratitude, I'm reducing my price to all-time low, 80 cents.
80? 80, you thief! You conniving, wretched, deceiving little thief! I won't pay you more than 60.
60! 60 cents for drowning. But where's my profit? My towels cost me 40, and another 40 for the fella who fishes me out. I would be losing my money on it. What's the point? I might as well stay under.
You can't cheat me, sir. 60 for the drowning. Take it or leave it.
You're a hard man, sir. A hard man. 60 cents it is? I pray to God my son doesn't want to be a drowner.
30, 40, 50, 60. There's your money. Now, where shall I stand?
Right on the edge of the dock. Right up close. That's where you'll see all the actions.
It's pretty dark down there. Are you sure I'll be able to see well?
That's what makes it so eerie. The eerier, the more entertaining. All the actions in last 10 seconds anyway. Well, here I go. Oh, I almost forgot. When I come up for the third time, yell at the top of your lungs. Potnishevki! Potnishevki!
Who's Popnishevki?
He's the fellow who jumps in after me, sir. I can't swim.
You can't swim? Are you telling me you're going to drown without knowing how to swim?
That's what makes it so exciting. Potnishevki waits till the very last seconds before jumping in and pulling me out. He's in that restaurant, sir, having a drink. Potnishevki. Don't forget the name. Well, I hope you enjoy the show. If you like it, tell your friends. In the soup, as we say. Help! Help! I'm drowning! I can't swim! Help! Oh!
Over here, a little towards me. I can't see you too well there.
Help! Somebody! I'm drowning! Oh!
Good. Very good. Yes, well, that's enough of that. I don't want to see that anymore. Can you drown now? Can you hear me? I said I'd like to see you drown now. Where the devil is he? Ah, there you are. That's the third time, isn't it? Oh, good heavens. What was that fellow's name?
Next actress, please. Next actress, please. Name?
What?
Your name.
please.
Oh, Nina.
Nina. Is that it? Just Nina?
Yes, sir. Oh, no, sir. Nina Mikolnova Zarakhnaya.
Age?
My age?
Yes, please. That means how old are you?
How old are you looking for?
Couldn't you just answer the question simply, please?
Yes, but just wanted you to know, sir, I can play any age you'd like. 16, 30. In high school, I played a 78-year-old woman with a rheumatism, and everyone said it was very believable. A 79 rheumatic woman told me so herself.
Yes, but we're not looking for a 78-year-old rheumatic woman. We're looking for a 22-year-old girl. Now your age, please.
22, sir.
Really? I would have guessed 27 or 28.
I have a bad head cold, sir. It makes me look older. Last year, when I had influenza, the doctor thought I was 39. I promise I can look 22 when you need it, sir.
Do you have a temperature?
Yes, sir, 103.
Good God, what are you doing walking around in the dead of winter with 103 temperature? Go home, child. Go to bed. You can come back some other time.
Oh, no, please, sir. I've waited 6 months to get this audition. I waited 3 months just to get on the 6-month wait list. If they put me on the end of that list again, I'll have to wait another 6 months, and by then I'll be 23, and it'll be too late to be 22. And oh, please let me read, sir. I'm really feeling much better. I think I'm down to 101 now, sir.
I can see you have your heart set on being an actress.
My heart, my soul, my very breath. The bones in my body, the blood in my veins.
Yes, we've had enough of your medical history. But what practical experience have you had?
As what?
Well, for example, the thing we're discussing, acting. How much acting experience have you had?
You mean on a stage?
That's as good a place as any.
Well, I studied acting for 3 years in high school under Madame Zoblienska.
She teaches here in Moscow?
No, in my high school in Odessa, but she was a very great actress herself.
In Moscow?
No, in my high school in Odessa.
You are then, strictly speaking, an amateur.
Yes, sir, in Moscow. In Odessa, I'm a professional.
Yes, that's all very well. But you see, we are looking for a 22-year-old professional actress in Moscow. Odessa, although I grant you a lovely city, theatrically speaking is not Moscow. I would advise you to get some more experience and take some aspirins.
I traveled 4 days to get here, sir. Won't you just hear me read?
My dear child, I find this very embarrassing.
Even if you did not employ me, just to read for you would be a memory I would cherish for the rest of my life. If I may be so bold, sir, I think you are one of the greatest living authors in all of Russia.
Really? That's very kind of you. Perhaps we do have a few minutes.
I've read almost everything you've written. The articles, the stories. I love the one about, oh God, every time I think of it, I can't control myself.
Really? Which one was that?
The death of a government clerk. Oh God, I laughed for days.
The death of a government... I don't remember that. What was that about?
Cherdyakov? The sneeze? The sneezing splatterer?
Oh, yes. You found that funny, did you? Strange. I meant it to be sad.
Oh, it was sad. I cried for days. It was tragically funny.
Was it really? And of everything you've read, what was your favorite?
My very favorite?
Yes, what was it?
Tolstoy's War and Peace. You asked me what my favorite was.
Well, you're an honest little thing, aren't you? It's refreshing. Irritating, but refreshing. Very well then. What are you going to read for me?
I should like to read from The Three Sisters.
Indeed. Which sister?
All of them, if you have the time, sir.
All of them? Oh, good heavens. Why don't you just read me the entire play?
Oh, thank you, sir. I know it all. Act 1, a drawing room in the Prozorov's house. It is midday. A bright sun is shining through the large French doors.
That's not necessary. An excerpt will do nicely. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I should like to read the last moment of the play, sir.
Good. Good. That shouldn't take too long. Whenever you're ready.
I've been ready for 6 months, sir, not including the 3 months I waited to get on the 6-month wait.
Please begin.
Yes, sir. Sir, could you please say Tarara Boomdie, sit on the curb I may?
Certainly not. Why would I say such an idiotic thing?
I don't know. You wrote it? Shibukin says it at the end of the play. It would help me greatly, sir, if you could just read that one line. I've waited 6 months for this, sir. I walked all the way from Odessa.
All right. Very well then. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Tarara Boomdie, sit on the curb I may.
And Masha says, listen to that music. They are leaving us. One has gone for good forever. We are left alone to begin our lives over again. We must live. We must live. And Irina says, a time will come when we will know what all this is for, why there's all this suffering. But meanwhile, we must live. We must work, only work. Tomorrow I shall go alone and teach in the school and give my life to those who need it. Now it is autumn and soon winter will come and cover everything with snow. But I shall go on working. Working. Shall I finish?
Please.
And Olga says, the music plays so gaily and so valiantly. One wants to live. Oh my God. Time shall pass and we will be gone forever. We will be forgotten. Our faces, our voices, how many there were of us. But our sufferings will turn into joy for those who live after us. Happiness and peace will come to this earth. And then they will remember kindly and bless those who are living now. My dear sisters, it seems as if just a little longer, and we shall know why we live, why we suffer. If only we knew. If only we knew. Thank you, sir. You have made me very happy. That is all I wanted. God bless you, sir.
Will someone go get her before she walks all the way back to Odessa?
Good morning, Mr. Kuzinov!
Shh. Please, lower your voice.
I'm sorry, sir.
It's just that my gout's acting up again and my nerves like little firecrackers. The least bit of friction can send them off.
It must be very painful, sir.
Combing my hair this morning was agony.
Mr. Kuzinov.
What is it, Pokaten?
There's a woman here who insists on seeing you. We can't make head or tail out of her story, but she insists on seeing the directing manager. Perhaps if you're not feeling too well.
No, the business of the bank comes before my minor physical ailments. Please, send her in. Quietly. Good morning, madam. Excuse me for not standing by. I'm somewhat incapacitated, but please have a seat.
Thank you.
So, what is it I can do for you today?
You can help me, sir. Oh, I pray to God you can help. It's just that no one in the world seems to care anymore.
No, madam. We don't need any of that. Please calm down. Please calm down. Calm down.
Sorry.
I'm sure we can sort this all out if we approach the problem sensibly and quietly. So, what exactly seems to be the trouble?
It's my husband, sir, Collegiate Assessor Shukin. He's been sick for 5 months, 5 agonizing months.
Well, I know the horrors of illness, and I can sympathize with you, madam. What seems to be the nature of his illness?
It's a nervous disorder. Everything grates his nerves. If you so much as touch him, he'll scream out, "Ah!" How or why he does it, nobody knows.
I have an inkling. Please go on a little less descriptively if possible.
Well, while he was lying in bed for 5 months...
You're not going to scream again, are you?
Not that I don't have cause. While he was lying in bed for 5 months, he was let go from his job for no reason at all.
Well, that's certainly a pity, madam, but I don't see the connection with our bank.
You don't know how I suffered during these 5 months. I nursed him morning till night, doctored him night till morning, besides taking care of our house, our children, our cat, our goat, our dog, and my sister's cat, who was sick.
The cat was sick?
Oh, no. She was sick. She gets dizzy spells. She's been dizzy for a month now. She's getting dizzier every day.
Extraordinary. However, I just don't see what you're trying to say here.
I had to take care of not only my family, but then my sister's family, her dog, and her cat, and then her cat bit my cat, and then my oldest daughter, the one with the broken arm, she drowned my sister's cat, and now in return, my sister wants our goat, or else she's gonna drown my cat or break my daughter's other arm.
Well, you certainly had yourself a pack of troubles, madam, but I still don't see the connection.
I want my husband's money, his $24.36. They won't give it to me because I am a woman, weak and defenseless. Some of them laughed in my face, sir, laughed. But where is the humor in a weak, defenseless creature like myself?
None. I see none at all. However, I don't wish to be unkind, but your petition here, no matter how justified, just has nothing to do with our bank. You're going to have to go to the agency in which your husband was employed.
What do you mean? I've been to 5 agencies already, and none of them will even listen to my petition. I'm about to lose my mind. The hair is coming out of my head. Look at it. By the fistful now. Don't you tell me to go to another agency.
Please, madam, keep your hair in its proper place. Now, listen to me carefully. This is a bank. A bank. We're in the banking business. Funds that are brought here are banked by us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
What are you saying?
I'm saying we can't help you.
Are you saying you can't help me?
I'm trying. I don't think I'm making headway.
Are you saying that you don't believe that my husband has a nervous disorder? Look, here's the proof. Here's the doctor's certificate. Now, do you still doubt that my husband has a nervous disorder?
Not only would I not doubt it, ma'am, but I would swear to it.
Look at it. You didn't look at it.
Well, it's really not necessary. I know full well how your husband must be suffering.
What's the point of having a doctor's certificate if you don't look at it? Look at it.
Oh, yes! Well, it says right here on the paper, your husband has a nervous disorder. Wow, you certainly have good cause, madam, but I'm still afraid you've come to the wrong place. Excuse me, I'm getting a bit excited.
You lied to me, and I took you as a man of your word, and you just lied to me.
I lie? When?
When you said you read the doctor's certificate, you could not have read the description without seeing that my husband was fired unjustly. Now, don't you take advantage of me just because I am a weak and defenseless woman. At least do me the courtesy of reading the doctor's certificate. Read it, and then I'll go.
But I've already read it once. What's the point of reading something twice when you've already read it once?
You didn't read it carefully.
Oh, but I read it in detail.
You read it too fast. Read it slower this time.
Ma'am, it's not really necessary. I'm a fast reader, okay?
You didn't let it absorb. Let it sink in this time.
Madam, it absorbed, it sank in. I could pass a test on what's written here, but it makes no difference because it has nothing to do with our bank.
Did you see the part where it says my husband has a nervous disorder?
Oh, yes! It says your husband has a nervous disorder! My, how terrible! Only I can't help you now, please! Go!
Oh, I am so sorry.
Do not kiss my
so
butt!
Sorry.
Can't you get this into your balding head? You coming to us with a complaint like this is ridiculous. Did you try to go to a butcher shop for a haircut?
You can't go to a butcher shop for a haircut. Now, why would you tell anybody to go to a butcher shop for a haircut? Are you laughing at me?
Me? Laughing? I'm lucky I'm breathing. Poketon!
Did I tell you I'm fasting? I haven't eaten in 3 days. I want to eat, but nothing stays down. I've had the same cup of coffee 3 times today.
Poketon!
I'm skin and bones. I faint at the least provocation. Watch.
What is it, Mr. Kusinov? What's wrong?
Did you see? Did you see how I fainted? 8 times a day that happens!
Poketon, get her out of my office! Who let her in here?
You did, sir. I asked you and you said show her in.
I thought you meant a human being, not some lunatic with a doctor's certificate.
He did not even read it. He just looked at it and he threw it right back in my face. You look like a kind person. Have pity on me. You read it and tell me if I'm wrong.
I read it, madam, twice.
Yeah, me too. I had to read it twice too.
You just showed it to me outside. You showed it to everyone. We all read it, even the doorman.
You didn't read it. You just looked at it.
For God's sakes, Poketon, just read the doctor's certificate.
Oh, yes, it says your husband is very sick. Now, if you will please leave, madam, or I will have to get someone to remove you.
Yes, that's a great idea. Hey, get the doorman and the 2 guards. Be careful, though. She's as strong as an ox.
If you touch me, I will scream so loud that everyone in the entire city will hear it, and you're going to lose all your depositors because nobody's going to want to come to a bank where they beat a weak, defenseless woman.
Weak? Defenseless? No, madam. You are as defenseless as a charging rhinoceros. You're as weak as the king of the jungle. You're a plague, madam. A plague that wipes all that crosses your path. You are the raging river that wipes out bridges and stately homes. You're the wind that blows villages over mountaintops. It's women like you drive men like us to the conditions of husbands like yours.
Okay, so you're saying you're not going to help me.
Poketon, I want you to hit her right now. I want you to knock some sense into her.
Do you hear how I am abused? Do you hear how he would have you beat a poor, orphaned mother like myself? Have you heard my cough? Listen to this cough.
Madam, if we can discuss this in my office, please.
Get your hands off of me! Oh, merciful God! He's beating me! He's beating me!
I'm not beating you. I'm just holding your arm.
Poketon, hit her, you fool. You'll never get another chance like this again. You knock some sense into her. You knock her to the ground.
A curse on you and all your depositors. May the money in your vaults turn to potatoes. May your gold turn to onions. May your dollars turn to pickles and your cents to radish.
Stop! Stop! Poketon, just give her what she wants. Whatever she wants.
$24.36. That's all that's due to me. That's all I want.
Come with me. I'll get your money.
Oh, and another $1 to get home. I'd walk, but I have very weak ankles.
Yes, that too, Poketon. Give her the extra dollars. Whatever she wants. Get her out of here.
Oh, God bless you, sir. You are so kind. Curse be gone! Onions to money, potatoes to gold.
Remove her! Here's Malia.
I forgot one more thing. I'm gonna need a letter of recommendation for my husband to get another job. Don't you bother yourself about it tonight. I will be back in the morning to pick it up. God bless you, sir.
What? She's coming back? She's coming back. She's not. She's coming back.
When I put my pencil down at the end of a hard day's work, I can't help but think I've robbed my friends of their precious life fluid. And what torments my conscience even more is that I've had a great time writing today. Thank you for this visit. If ever you come this way again, stop on by. Really. Thank you. Good night. Oh, wait. There is an alternate ending. If ever you come this way again, I hope you inherit. Good night.